Okay, BMW X5. This is an E70 model, 2012. I am replacing this tailgate piece here, this trim piece. What happened as the vehicle got older is these little tabs break, and then the metal wires get loose, and basically there's no more tension on this lid anymore. It just flaps around. You can see it's literally broken on every single one of these little pieces of metal. So we're swapping that out. It's pretty cheap and easy to do. This is the old one right here. You will have to pop out the little things here, which I can show you what that looks like. They just push in right there, and they're held in by 4 little tabs, 2 on each side, that you have to push in. Now these are easy to remove. Once you should remove this piece first before you remove these from here. That way you can just easily bend these gently without breaking them and pop this out. But my new one didn't come with these, so I had to hold on to the old ones. A little side note. Otherwise, removing this was pretty straightforward. Putting it back is pretty straightforward. Let me just put this aside and show you. What was helpful for me is I got one impact wrench here with an 8mm bit. That's to remove these little screws that I have here, or these bolts. And I also have these screws that require Phillips, which of course I've got my drill here for that. You will definitely want some kind of trim piece pry bar that looks like this, or is straight, but it should have the 2 little prongs. Definitely gonna need that. And basically what you're going to do, I'm gonna kind of go in reverse here. If you ever watch a video on how to replace your battery, you'll have to remove this trim piece. So you can always watch that if you want to know where the screws are for that. But basically, this piece here, first of all, I did not have to pull this off. All I had to do is just kind of peel it back to remove the trim piece here and the trim piece here. So don't feel like you have to remove that whole rubber piece, just pull it back. This piece here is held in by 2 things. One is a series of bolts. You can probably see there's 1 bolt there, there's a bolt right here, there's a bolt right there, and there's a bolt right there. Those 4 bolts hold it in there. There's also some tabs that you can't see in here, and it's easier to show on the old one. So if I flip this guy over, you'll see there's a series of tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look at the way they're shaped, in order to remove this piece, you're going to want to move it that direction. So basically, once you remove the 4 bolts, you take this piece and you slide it that direction, you pull it in that direction to get it off the 5 tabs, and it should just come right off, especially once you you just kind of loosen the rubber a little bit. And that's how you would get this back off. To get it back on, it's basically the reverse. You place it in there, you're gonna push it in that direction. You can actually see the tabs on this side. That's actually one right there. So you can see if it's hooking underneath that piece of metal as you're pushing it in. But just push it in. I found it easy to start a bolt here and to start a bolt here just to hold it in place. And then I just kind of gave it a yank to get the tab in here. And once it slid back and I saw that this was in the middle here, I was able to bolt this all the way flush. And then I kind of did the same over here, and then I last put these 2 bolts in here. So it's all pretty easy, no big problem there. So the 2 pieces here I got to pop back on. I already showed you those. Next, you're going to need to put this tray back in, and that's this guy. And this is super easy. If you're doing a battery replacement, you'll be familiar with this. It really just drops in here. And once you sort of get it in place, I'll play with it a little bit. There's just a handful of bolts. You put a screw here, put a screw here, and then you'll notice there's one down here and one down here. So I think it was 4 total, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and this one here, 5. 5 bolts to bolt that down or to remove it, and it just lifts out. Easy peasy. And then once I get that bolted down, I'll have to put this trim piece back on. Here is one of those. I'm going to show you what's holding that in. notice first of all that there's a tab here. That's what you're going to want that pry tool for, because you're going to want to come in from this side and kind of pry it up as the last step. So now in reverse, to put this on, I'm going to want to push this in. I want to put the rubber seal on top of this. And then there's two bolts that hold it in. There's one right here at the top, and there's one inside this little opening. You'll notice when I put this in place, we have a bolt that goes there. And in fact, when I go down here, there's a little hole there. Well, that lines up with that. So two bolts finally to put it in place. And then there is a little cover. A little cover goes in place on top of it. This just pries off, but I'll show you what's holding it in place. You have, not sure if I grabbed the right one here. All right, so if this is the right one, it's basically held in. Ooh, I think I got the wrong one. All right, here we go. So you can see you've got these kind of two tabs here. Well, they just kind of go in here like so. And then on this side, you can see you got these three tabs. So probably just put that side in first, like so, and then I can probably just push that in. But I'm gonna do that last after I mount it. So in reverse, you probably want to just get your little pry bar back there. They popped off really easy for me, so you shouldn't have much of a problem there. Once those are on, you need to put this bucket back in. So this bucket goes in here, and you can see it's held on by, first of all, over here there's kind of a little hole, and you can see it's one of those little pop-up things. So you can pop that up and remove it. I didn't, because I didn't realize and look that it was in there. I just ended up pulling that out kind of last once I removed these two pieces. But it's held in by a clip here, and then a clip there. And what I did is I removed this clip first, in this clip, and then I just sort of lifted it, and this side just kind of ended up popping off. Probably the right thing to do is actually just remove the clip. But you can see it just sits in there. I actually broke that clip. I couldn't get it to release, so I ended up prying and breaking the top off of it. And then this one came off fine. Those things. These are the clips that pop off. It goes in here. You can see, if you're not familiar with these things will spread apart when you push this little plunger down. So typically when you first get it, it looks like that from the top. And you need to get some kind of tool, which is where these are really useful. You need to get this tool to pop that little top up. And then when you do that, you can typically just pull these guys out. So that's what's holding this in. And it's also what's holding the backside here in. So you should know how to pop those off. And there we go, there's the result. This thing is being held against it again. Just like we're looking for. One other comment, I didn't talk about removing these guys. There's a handle here. All you do is pull it out. Very easy to remove. And yeah, I think that's it. It can be helpful to have a flashlight of some kind. These are great. And other than that, that's all you need. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour maybe. Pretty easy project. All right. Hope this was helpful. Bye.